Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Charlie here to bring you my Premier League predictions and season expectations for Chelsea with the new season just around the corner. A time of excitement, lots to look forward to. We can finally put the disappointment of last season behind us and banish it for good. I mean, look, I think there's lots to be excited about under Maurizio Pochettino. I'm really impressed with what I've seen in pre-season. We look fit, we look sharp, we look raring to go. Yes, there's still things that do need to be addressed in the transfer market. Of course, Christopher Nkunku unlikely to be available for the rest of this year is a huge, huge blow. One of the key players for us, one of the standout performers in pre-season. I was really looking forward to seeing him and Nicholas Jackson linking up and terrifying Premier League defences, but we're going to have to wait a little while longer to see that happening. So that's obviously a huge, huge blow. But again, I feel like there's a real feel-good factor around the place. I feel like, having conducted that massive clear out, got rid of all the players that don't want to be at the club, which I don't think that can be underestimated, how big of an impact that could have and how important that really is going to be in the grand scheme of things, to have a happy camp, to have everyone singing on the same song sheet. And, there shouldn't be any issues in the dressing room. There shouldn't be any attitude issues or anything like that. Everyone that wants to be at the club is here and is happy to be here. And that is exactly the way it should be. We've been calling out for this for years and years and years. Now that we finally got it, I think this could really make a big, big difference, and Chelsea could finally be a harmonious place again. But, I'm under no illusions that we're not going to suddenly just rocket up the table from 12th and suddenly comfortably get ourselves into the top four. The expectations for me, we have to get back into Champions League football. But I'd caveat that by saying at the time of recording, that depends on what we do in the remainder of the market. Now, of course, the Moises Caicedo saga has been taking some mad turns, and there's still not a conclusion to that. I really do believe that is that signing for me, if Chelsea can get it over the line, is the difference between us finishing in the Champions League and missing out on the Champions League. I think it is that important. I think he's that good. And I really think it is that much of a transformative signing that it makes a difference between Champions League football and not getting Champions League football. So that's a big one there. Obviously, of course, we still need to try and get another forward if we can. Another attacking midfield player as well. If we can address all the key areas that we need to address within the squad, then I firmly believe that Chelsea will finish inside the top 4 or 5 this season. With obviously the new Champions League model, top 5 should be enough to get you into the following season's competition. So for me, if we address those signings and we address those areas in the squad, we'll finish in a top 4/5. If we don't, I think we've got a big, big struggle on our hands. Obviously the next options down from Caicedo, no disrespect to the likes of your Lavias or your Tyler Adams or whatever, they are nowhere. They're not cut from the same cloth as Caicedo. It's an instant downgrade. They're not at his level yet. They could, like Lavia, certainly got the potential to be at that level in maybe 1 or 2 years' time. But we need someone to come in now and operate at that level. And Caicedo is the only name on the market to do that. So that is why it's imperative we get it done, and why it's going to have such a big bearing on our season. I feel that, with playing once a week, as disappointing as it is for us, that's gonna be key as well. It's going to be enough time for Pochettino to work on loads of things tactically on the training pitch, get a lot of fitness work in, and all that sort of thing. A lot of time for the new players to get to gel together, get to know each other better as well, working on all these patterns of play and stuff. So I actually feel that for one season, that could be a huge advantage for us as well, that extra time on the training ground. When you're playing 2-3 times a week, you're very much not got much time on the pitch. You're having a recovery day, a recovery session, then one training session, then you're playing again. So the extra time on the training pitch, I feel, could be really beneficial for us, could make a big, big difference to how our season goes. In terms of the domestic cups, there's no reason at all why we shouldn't be challenging for the League Cup and the FA Cup. With no European football, we should be putting out strong sides in every single round of the Cup, regardless of the opposition. And, people mock the League Cup, but ultimately when Jose was here first time round as well, he targeted that as the first trophy available, the first one to win. And under this group of players, under this new era under Pochettino, we need to be winning as soon as possible. And the League Cup represents the first chance to win, which is why we need to be taking it seriously. We can't be, fucking about with it and just disregarding it. We need to take that one seriously. You don't need to win that many games to get to the final. And, it would just install that winning mentality in the group. And it would prove to this group of players that, hey, we can actually win. In terms of players that I feel, need to stand like could stand out this season. Obviously, Reece James, the new captain, fantastic. I think if he can put his fitness issues behind him and be fully fit for a season, I can't remember the last time Reece James or Ben Chilwell were fully fit for a season. I don't know if it's ever happened with Reece. Has Reece ever been fit for a full season? I'm really unsure. But if he can have those injury issues behind him and play pretty much a full season, then I think he's going to be a superb player for us. I think Malagusto's been fantastic as well. Looking forward to seeing Levi Colwell, Nicholas Jackson, Enzo Fernandez, hopefully Caicedo. Do you know what? There's a really exciting squad there. And, I'm not going to say it's instantly going to click, but there's a really exciting squad there. There's some really talented players. And there's a team here that can be, that with the right coaching and the right development from Pochettino, this could be a really good side. And I think a lot of people could be sleeping on us next season. No one's really quite sure what to expect from Chelsea. Of course, we're not in the title conversation. We don't expect to be in that conversation. But at the same time, I mean, why not? Why can we not cause a few surprises? Why can we not upset a few of the so-called big teams that like your Cities, like your Uniteds or your Arsenals or whatever? Why can't we put ourselves back into the mix there with playing once a week, not having to do too much squad rotation? I feel that this season's got so many possibilities. It could potentially be a bit of a dud. Hopefully not, but it could potentially be a very, very good season. Champions League and a domestic cup. That for me has to be the aims. That is my expectations. Again, we'll have to wait and see how Chelsea fare. Of course, the Premier League's very competitive. City will strengthen again. They're the benchmark. Arsenal have done some very good business. Liverpool will be there or thereabouts as always. United have done good business in the window as well. Newcastle, Aston Villa. There's all these teams that, there's 7 or 8 teams, maybe even 9 teams if you include, dare I say it, Tottenham, that, are going for those 4 or 5 places. So some very good teams are going to be disappointed and missing out on European football come the end of the season. But, there's an air of optimism around Chelsea. It'd be great to be back at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. And we just have to wait and see how it goes. The first few games of the season will give us an idea of how this Chelsea team is going to play, how they're going to perform, and all that sort of stuff. But I think there's room to be optimistic. We've looked really good in preseason. We've looked sharp. Players have looked good. There's been some really good performances all over the squad, bar Raheem Sterling. And yeah, I'm excited to see how we can translate that into the Premier League. It's a different level again from pre-season. But I see no reason why we can't continue our good work from the Tour of America, why Poch can't continue to get more out of these young players, and we could be in for a really successful season. So I'm going to stick my neck out on the line right now, people, and say that Chelsea will finish 5th this season and we will win the League Cup. That is my predictions for Chelsea this season. In terms of a top goal scorer for Chelsea, I'm going to go with Nicholas Jackson. I'm going to back the new boy. And why don't I stick my neck out and go for a Chelsea Player of the Year? I'm going to say Enzo Fernandez for a big season, Chelsea Player of the Year. In terms of the top 4 as well, let me just briefly give you my rundown. I'm going to go City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, and Chelsea in 5th at this point in time. Or did I say 4th? I can't remember. Anyway, those are my predictions, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on whether you agree or disagree with anything I've said, what your thoughts are as well. And I will catch you again in another video soon, guys. Take care, peace out, and up the Chelsea, people.